Chapter 71 to 73. Arrogant. In the Hokage building, Hiruzen Sarutobi slammed his palm heavily on the table, causing the intelligence scroll to fall and hit Danzo Shimura's foot. "Don't get angry, Hiruzen," Danzo said, picking up the scroll. "Anger makes people lose their rationality. I never thought I'd see the day when you'd be lecturing me." Hiruzen took a deep breath, suppressing his rage. "Danzo, what do you think?" "The intelligence is very clear," Danzo replied. "The Byakugan of Shinosuke Hyuga has been taken. Recently, several nursery rhymes have appeared in the land of hot water. When pieced together, they reveal that the bounty station is involved in exchanging the Byakugan for the Shikotsumyaku. Each song contains only a small amount of useful information, but together they form a coherent message. The likelihood of this being false intelligence is minimal." The third Hokage lit his pipe, exhaling a ring of smoke. "Do the other villages know about Shinosuke Hyuga's disappearance?" "It hasn't spread yet, but it's not impossible. We've had too many skirmishes with Kumogakure and Kirigakure in recent months." "What does Kirigakure say?" "They seem to be verifying the truth of the information. Their intelligence team thinks it's a trap set by us." "Ha, a bunch of idiots." "The land of water has good reason to think that." Hiruzen fell silent for a moment before continuing. "Have we traced the source of these nursery rhymes?" "No, there are too many traveling merchants." "Tell me your thoughts, Danzo. I know you're good at dealing with this sort of thing." "All right," the bandaged man said casually. "I think it's possible that there's an internal problem within the bounty station. Exchanging a Byakugan for the Shikotsumyaku is a big deal. Whoever manages this transaction would gain favor from the top. Perhaps the lucky person was targeted by their colleagues, who then leaked the information to disrupt the deal." "That's a very likely possibility." "But that's not the most crucial thing, Hiruzen," Danzo grinned. "Give the order, Hokage. What should we do?" Hiruzen extinguished his pipe, staring at the majestic Hokage rock in the distance. "Send someone to disrupt the deal and retrieve the Byakugan. Those eyes belong to the Hyuga clan, and the Hyuga belong to the village." "That's more like it, Hokage." Hiruzen Sarutobi turned to discuss what level of force to send, but as he turned, he suddenly caught a glimpse of his reflection in the glass. Only 5 months since the war began, and his hair had turned much whiter. Hiruzen Sarutobi sighed inwardly. "It's time to consider candidates for the next Hokage." Fuguki Suikazan looked at the people in front of him, frowning. His appearance was odd, with long orange hair reaching his waist, sharp teeth, and green stripes on his cheeks. From a certain angle, he indeed resembled a watermelon, a rotten one at that. Of course, most who dared to mock him as watermelon to his face were torn apart by him. He was the leader of the 7 ninja swordsmen, a peak sword user, a killer demon. Yet even a killer demon was now frowning, restraining himself from taking excessive action. "Morinosuke, you bastard, why have you brought your clan here? I've said before, I'm the boss of this battlefield." "Don't be so heartless, brother." Morinosuke Kaguya removed his hat, revealing the Kaguya clan's characteristic red dot on his forehead. Though he looked a bit frail, the entire shinobi world knew how crazy the Kaguya clan could be in battle, their brutal taijutsu and strong bodies putting most taijutsu specialists to shame. "Our Kaguya clan has been reassigned to the Kumogakure battlefield. Those brute lightning users are the perfect opponents for us." Morinosuke took out a scroll. "I came to ask for your help. Pick some reliable people to follow me. This is the Mizukage's order." Fuguki took the scroll, glanced at it, and then threw it behind him. Samehada let out a happy gurgle and tore the scroll to pieces. "If it's the Mizukage's order, I obey." He didn't say the second part, but the Kaguya clan already knew. "Who do you think you are, waving the Mizukage's order to command me?" "Oh dear, your temper hasn't changed a bit." Morinosuke shook his head. "So, what should I do to get your help?" Boom! The massive Samehada slammed into the ground, cracking the hard rock like a spider web. Fuguki grinned, baring his sharp teeth. So, it's a fight again? Just like before, you're quite the troublemaker. Morinosuke closed his eyes. In the next moment, his quiet and gentle demeanor vanished, his body sprouting over 20 sharp, thick bone spikes like a ferocious demon. It's been a long time since we last met. I've been looking forward to this reunion. Ah! That damn Minato Namikaze has gone to the land of rain! A burly man with a small mustache roared, stomping hard enough to break the cliff. Damn it! We haven't settled our score yet! Beside him, Killer B, wearing sunglasses, bobbed his head and said, Big bro's dangerous, handsome as can be, a sight to behold just less than me. Killer B, the burly man glared. If you say another word... The Hachibi Jinchuriki shrugged, making a gesture of surrender, smiling mischievously. At that moment, a bird flew rapidly from the distance, circling over Killer B's head before dropping an intelligence report. The burly man grabbed it and glanced through, then burst into laughter. The Kaguya clan has arrived on the battlefield. Konoha has also sent many experts here. Bounty Station, Byakugan, Shikotsumyaku? Only cowards plot in the shadows. I am A of Kumogakure. Killer B, what are you doing? Oh? The Jinchuriki raised his pen and paper. Writing lyrics, bro. That line you just said was really pro. Yuto Hyuga opened his eyes. Still in the mad scientist vibe, secret underground base. He stretched his neck, considering a string of text on the scroll. This was his accumulated battle achievements over the past few days, with Minato Namikaze heading to the land of rain. His reporting now had to be directed to Orochimaru. Once he finished writing, he had a slug deliver it. The Branch family youth stretched, then got up. He picked up his mask. Viper-sama, number 5 has been captured. In a dark basement, a severely injured man was thrown to the ground. 2 heavily armed assassins held his hands behind his back, the bones in his shoulders creaking loudly. However, even in this humiliating position, the man didn't dare to resist. He just kept saying, Viper-sama! Viper-sama! I swear I didn't leak any information. I took the scroll and went straight to headquarters. Viper touched his bald head, which was adorned with a poisonous insect tattoo, and sneered, In the land of hot water, only the dealer and I knew about the Byakugan, and the secret scroll was delivered to headquarters by you. Viper-sama, the man kowtowed repeatedly. I didn't know anything about the Byakugan. I always followed your orders and never opened the scroll. Then tell me, who leaked the information? The dealer or me? Lord, maybe it was someone at headquarters. Shut up! Viper kicked the man in the mouth. You really want to die saying something like that? The man's mouth was bloodied, half of his teeth knocked out, and he could no longer speak clearly. Originally, I wanted to spare your life. Hold him down, Viper coldly commanded. Ignoring the man's terrified eyes, he performed complex hand seals and pressed his hand on the subordinate's head. This was a memory-manipulating technique. Though effective, Viper was far less skilled in this area than the Yamanaka clan of Konoha. Its use would leave irreparable mental trauma on the victim. The man's screams gradually weakened, and finally his eyes rolled back, and he fainted. Viper wearily rubbed his temples and sat back in his chair. Damn. It really wasn't him who leaked the information. But even if he had leaked the Byakugan's details, it wouldn't matter now. Viper's heart chilled. The day that the man calling himself Aizen Sosuke left the bounty station, Viper immediately sent people to report the information to headquarters. The response came quickly. A brief, approve the transaction, but proceed with caution. Viper was granted higher authority and could mobilize more resources from the bounty station. Overjoyed, he met with Aizen Sosuke again that very day. Besides conveying the headquarters approval, They also discussed the specifics of trading the Byakugan and Shikotsumyaku. Capturing a member of the Kaguya clan alive was a major task, and the bounty station needed time to accomplish it. But unexpectedly, just as everything was progressing smoothly, a disaster struck. Several children's songs containing deadly information suddenly spread wildly in the land of hot water and its surroundings. This deal, which had angered both the fire and water countries, was exposed, making the bounty station's branch in the land of hot water a prime target. In just a few days, the bounty station's intelligence network reported catastrophic news. Experts from the Kaguya clan in Kirigakure had entered the land of hot water, Konoha shinobi had started raiding bounty station bases, and Kumogakure had also focused its attention here. Although the bounty station claimed to be a great nation without borders, it wasn't truly a powerful shinobi village. Otherwise, it would have already established its own bounty nation. With these continuous blows, the bounty station's branch in the land of hot water was on the brink of collapse. Who leaked the information was no longer important. The key now was how to survive. Perhaps it was true that misfortunes never come singly. Just as Viper felt stifled, the secret room suddenly shook violently, the granite walls cracking like a spiderweb, and dust fell from the ceiling. "Enemies!" Viper was shocked and slapped the side, attempting to escape through the underground passage. But as soon as the hidden door opened, hundreds of tons of water gushed in, sweeping Viper away. Damn it! This scale! It's Kirigakure's water release! They've flooded the underground! Viper cursed, but was helpless. The walls of the secret room couldn't withstand such a torrent, being blasted open with numerous holes, and the water level quickly rose to waist height. Viper had no choice but to escape upwards with his subordinates. The closer they got to the surface, the louder the sounds of fighting and screaming became, and Viper's heart sank further. Suddenly, moonlight shone on his face. He had reached the surface. Everywhere he looked, he saw the corpses of bounty station members, many of them torn apart and crushed. Viper's legs trembled, and he lost any will to resist. If they truly went all out, any of the 5 great shinobi villages could annihilate the bounty station. Normally, they tolerated its existence because it facilitated the flow of money and helped ninjas handle shady business. As long as the bounty station didn't cross their bottom line. Trading Byakugan and Shikotsumyaku, stealing the Kekkei Genkai of the shinobi villages, broke the rules. Mice living comfortably in the dirt for too long had foolishly thought they could touch a tiger's tail. Only rivers of blood could calm the beast's fury. Among the piles of bodies, Morinosuke Kaguya turned around, the red mark on his forehead stabbing into Viper's eyes. "Are you the head of this branch?" "Kaguya clan shinobi." Viper swallowed hard and struggled to respond. "Yes, sir." "You've got some nerve." Morinosuke walked slowly over to Viper. "Planning to trade our clan members' bodies?" I. The moonlight was cold, but Viper felt as if he were in the summer heat, sweating profusely, completely lacking the courage to say yes. As they spoke, 2 groups of shinobi approached from the east and south. Soon, the teams from Kirigakure, Konoha, and Kumogakure surrounded the remaining members of the bounty station, the 3 forces wary of each other, but united in cutting off Viper's escape. "Ha! Such grand efforts!" Morinosuke chuckled. "Danzo Shimura from Konoha, the 8 Tails Jinchuriki from Kumogakure, and me along with Fuguki Suikazan from Kirigakure." He turned back, calmly saying, "You bounty station folks are quite something, claiming to be a great nation without borders." I... Viper's teeth chattered, repeating the same words. Over 200 elite shinobi and 4 famous experts had gathered. With such a lineup, crushing the bounty station's branch in the land of hot water was a matter of moments. "Don't be rash, Morinosuke Kaguya." At this moment, Danzo from Konoha spoke. His raspy voice sounded like an old demon mocking in the night. "Let's put our past grievances aside. He might know the name or appearance of the dealer. Extracting information about the Byakugan and Shikotsumyaku would benefit both Konoha and Kirigakure." Do you think I'm an idiot, old man?" Morinosuke Kaguya sneered, gripping Viper's throat, and a jagged bone spike emerged from his forearm, piercing Viper's fragile blood vessels. "Speak. Tell me everything you know. What is the dealer's name?" The fear of death enveloped Viper. He knew that if he resisted now, what awaited him would be far worse than death. So, like a drowning man grasping for a lifeline, he opened his mouth. "Aizen Sosuke." The voice wasn't Viper's. Nearly 200 elite shinobi and 4 renowned experts simultaneously turned to look at the source of the voice. A man wearing an Oni mask walked out of the darkness. His hands were behind his head, strolling leisurely as if in his own garden. "Well, well, Viper." He spoke slowly with a thick sense of mockery and nonchalance. "Are these Kaguya clan members for me? How considerate of you." Yuto walked slowly, moonlight shining on his demon mask, casting a cold, bright light. He was very careful about hiding his identity. Using the transformation jutsu, he maintained the appearance and height of an adult. The Hanya demon mask he wore had been thoroughly modified. It was now a god's mask cultivated from his own cells. Though it lost the ability to replenish his bloodline after use, some characteristics remained. The powdered remnants of the discarded mask were applied to the inside of the demon mask, making it impervious even to the Byakugan. He discarded everything that could reveal his identity as Yuto, even removing the distinctive Ryun steel. Outwardly, he was flawless. The remaining challenge was his behavior. To the outside world, Yuto appeared as a typical Hyuga clan genius, calm, gentle, composed, and impeccable in conduct. To completely sever ties with his original identity, Aizen Sosuke had to have a very different personality from Yuto. Thus, the man behind the Hanya demon mask was domineering, reckless, and arrogant, nothing like a righteous person. More importantly, the fighting styles of these two identities were never the same. As a shinobi, his appearance, personality, chakra, and mastered jutsus were all different. If someone could still see through this, Yuto would have no choice but to give up, scratch his forehead protector, and defect. Under the moonlight, the mysterious man strolled casually, as if he were in his backyard. "Are these Kaguya clan members for me? How considerate of you." He spoke slowly, his voice resonating through the air, reaching everyone's ears. This audacious arrogance made everyone present realize that this man was formidable. Formidable to the point of lawlessness. A flash of brutality crossed Morinosuke's eyes as bone spikes suddenly grew and pierced into Viper's neck. With a squelch, blood spurted, and the head rolled to the ground. "Aizen Sosuke?" Morinosuke's voice was cold. "Did you take the Byakugan to exchange for our clansmen?" He implicated Konoha as well, clearly showing Yuto's performance had a significant deterrent effect. Morinosuke was wary of this mysterious man. Yuto stopped and tilted his head, looking at Morinosuke. "Heh!" Yuto suddenly chuckled. Then he touched the forehead of the demon mask and smiled lightly at Morinosuke. "An experiment material that can talk." As Yuto touched the forehead of the demon mask, he triggered a hidden mechanism inside, causing the god's mask to adhere to the skin between his brows. The next moment, the mask, cultivated from Yuto's cells, merged into his skin and disappeared. Everything in Yuto's eyes changed. Every cell vibrated with joy as the long-diluted and suppressed blood of the Otsutsuki clan flowed in his veins. The collision of spirit and body generated chakra like a tidal wave, flowing through every acupoint and meridian, surging into his visual nerves, transforming into immense and mystical eye power, affecting all his cells. The caged bird seal vanished. The pure white eyes turned a pale blue. Yuto knew he had gained some incredible power, surpassing the limits of ordinary shinobi understanding, even if only for 3 minutes. For 3 minutes, he was no longer a branded slave of the Hyuga branch family, but a true descendant of a god. God's mask mode. Activate. The transformation was so brief that when Yuto opened his pale blue eyes, Morinosuke only then understood his earlier words. You! Morinosuke was furious, unable to control his violent emotions. The power of the Shikotsumyaku erupted instantly, bone spikes protruding from his body, while numerous sharp white bones surged from the ground. "Dance of the seedling fern!" he shouted, using his proud family secret technique, only to realize the man in the demon mask had disappeared. Hearing exclamations, Shinobi looked up. Under the full moon, the man in the Hanya mask floated in the air, bathed in moonlight, looking down at the elite shinobi from 3 major villages. So tiny. He murmured, diving from the sky, causing a sonic boom, and the airwaves alone could uproot trees. Morinosuke was shocked. Dealing with a high-level shinobi with flying capabilities was always the hardest. The immortal Onoki was the best proof. He had to dodge this strike. Morinosuke thought, preparing to use the body flicker technique to dodge left. However, as he moved, an invisible force bound him, not only failing to evade but also pushing him towards the masked man. Yuto collided with Morinosuke. At that moment, gravity and repulsion rapidly shifted, amplifying Yuto's already increased power 100-fold. Boom! A massive shockwave burst, tearing the air, shattering the ground and rocks. A 600-meter-wide crater appeared, with countless bone fragments scattered around. In the center, Yuto held Morinosuke by the neck, lifting him. In Yuto's pale blue eyes, the Kaguya clan members' heartbeat slowed, and chakra ceased to flow. Morinosuke was dying. "Captured," Yuto whispered, shouldering the gradually cooling corpse. Gravity and repulsion were the first powers he gained in God's mask mode. In terms of scale and destructiveness, it couldn't compare to the complete version of the Shinra Tensei. Though it lacked range, its changeability and speed surpassed Nagato's, just slightly behind, but not too far. Activating the Otsutsuki bloodline with the god's mask, Yuto had 3 minutes of power. This eye power and chakra weren't supreme, far from true Six Paths level, but sufficient to accomplish much in this era. It required external activation, had fatal time limits, lacked absolute power, and its abilities were fewer compared to the Rinnegan's diversity. But it was still a half-awakened Tensagan.